This is so confusing to me. Where did 2003 come from?
Yo, Bash, you been tripping on them hoes?
Hey, Sean. What's going on? Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you all right. How's it going?
Yo, like programming an LLM from scratch is hard, dude. Did you know that? Oh my God.
I can imagine. You mean programming the technology to create an LLM or to just to do the feeding
Yes,
or both?
Bo. Um, what's this over
So you're
here?
talking about like actually writing a like a neural network or whatever and doing all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm doing all that, and my mind's not my mind's not really augmented for like mathematical equations and
Nah, sure.
formulas, and my mind's not really wired for that. And so things that are like pretty trivial, I will burn 2 hours on something that quote unquote some like data scientist would probably do in like 5 minutes.
Well,
It's
yeah, but a data scientist probably didn't do it in the first 5 minutes when he was learning it a month later. But you're wired for math. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing functional programming.
I don't look at functional programming as math. I look at it as inputs and outputs with pipelines that are chained together.
That's all math. That's all math is.
At a high level, yeah.
I mean, if you think about like a reduction of an equation, for instance, it's just a series of patterns going through and applying patterns over and over again in a pipe until you reach an outcome that's nominal or whatever. So I don't know. Actually, a lot of it, like it's interesting. I didn't realize like, even a lot of mathematical like um, uh, markup, that you see on pages or whatever, or on Wikipedia or wherever.
hmm
We just are never taught how to read it unless you get into advanced math. But it's a lot of it is just basically like programming stuff. There's this one. It's like a big long S, and all that is like a for loop, or it's like a for every value in a range.
Oh,
So it's like I don't know how to read that, but someone just pointed out one day, yeah, it's this. It's like, oh, that's pretty straightforward.
yeah. I'm building. I hope I'm not butchering it, but I'm building like a domain-specific language for this in F sharp
Hmm.
because I don't think there's any like libraries that people are building for generative AI or LLMs in F sharp. Now I know it sounds pretty ignorant for me to say, but it's not blatantly obvious of there being a popular library out there, let alone framework.
Well, I mean, there is on .NET, but I don't know if
I
it's
mean, you
really
have
like,
ML.net,
yeah.
but I think that's more for just machine learning in general. And I don't think it's specialized with domain terms or a DSL for generative AI or LLM specifically. Um, yeah, so I mean, I've developed the language and the core operations, but I'm still struggling when it comes to so ChatGPT and Gemini. So when I run out of like when I exceed my quota of asking ChatGPT questions, then I just load up Gemini and I'll exceed my quota of questions on there. And then Gemini's pretty good, man.
Yeah, I've heard Gemini is pretty good. So you use what was the last one? So there's ChatGPT, Gemini, and was it,
Yeah, I think I know what you're
Anthropic.
talking about. No, I thought it was what's the one that's more tailored towards just programming in general? I forgot what it's called.
That
Claude.
was a
Claude.
Claude. Yeah, that's what it is. Maybe Anthropic is the one who makes Claude. Let me see. Yeah, Anthropic is the one who makes Claude. And then, well, you could always just go on the Happy or the Hugging Face and download and run your own. It's not going to be very good, but well, maybe it will be. Depends on how much your machine specs are. You ever done that? Just go download a trained model and use it just for fun.
No, because I really want to wrap my head around understanding how this stuff works. And
Yeah,
building it from scratch, it I was trying to convince someone yesterday evening of like, yo, like I strongly recommend don't just go straight into Python as a .NET developer and pull in all the Python libraries or frameworks where it's just easy calls to I don't know, do stuff with tensors. Like write it from scratch so you really understand after banging your head against the wall so many times, like what the fundamentals are. But he didn't agree with me. I'm like, if you're really trying to understand it, then don't rely on a dedicated library. Like force yourself to go through the fundamentals of all these different domain terms that you've never heard of before, and then create your DSL, and then just start filling out the voids or the blanks until you get something working. So,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do, but I mean, if you're just trying to, if you're actually trying to learn it, that's one thing. If you're trying to just, use it for some off-handed task and it's straightforward, I mean, you don't need to get into it.
I'm
But
trying to learn it.
yeah, but that's true of pretty much anything, like, right? Like they say, if you want to learn a database really well or how it works, just write one. Or even if it never gets used, or an operating system or a compiler or any of it, go out and just write one, and then you'll understand in some level of detail what the complications are and why certain decisions are made the way that they are.
Oh, finally see the missing piece, at least for what I was throwing my head against. So we're still doing attention, right? So this is going to be module token. Uh, it's token to weights. And that's going to take your shoot. That's going to take your token. Crap, that was supposed to be a type. No. Self attention. I promise I'm going to wrap up with this in like 3
No,
minutes.
you're good.
Self attention. Should have a weights module. And then type.
I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning last night. Got like 2 hours of sleep. At one point, I woke up thinking I was dying. I don't know why. That sucked.
That's not. You should get that checked out.
Yeah, well, it was probably just because I don't know. I had some really bad heartburn or something. And when my stomach gets in a tizzy like that, it's not good.
What's the science of heartburn?
I don't know. Your body doesn't produce the right acid to digest food, and so it keeps producing more and more, trying to digest it, and it just burns up your esophagus.
Oh, that's so your throat starts having burning sensations.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah, it's acid. Well, if it's chronic, then it's like acid reflux or whatever, or maybe if it's part of it. But I get weird. I get burpy. I don't know. I just everything hurts. It was a rough day yesterday.
Is it how much do genetics have to play a role in it?
Oh, I'm sure that a lot they do. I
Like,
mean, genetics plays a role in everything.
does it occur more with Caucasians than it does with like Africans or anything like that?
I don't know. Maybe. Um,
Self-attention dot weights. I don't like this from token because I don't have this anywhere else. What's a good naming convention or for this? Basically, what I'm trying to accomplish is you see this right here where it says attention weights for the token the, and then attention weights for the token cat.
mhm.
What I'm trying to accomplish is again I'm trying to like build a domain specific language, but I don't know what to call this type within my operations
So
module.
it's well, what is it in
So
plain English?
self attention dot weights, and then the operation I currently have is from token. So self attention dot weights from token, or you could just say weights from token. But I don't have from as a naming convention anywhere else in here. So an alternative would be like weights dot token to, or I could just change this up here. Self
Well, I mean, yeah.
attention.
Well, you use initializing compute in another context. We use compute in a lot of contexts. Type compute is token.
Yeah, but compute is actually performing like arithmetic. This right here is a lookup. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Thank you. Lookup maybe,
yeah. Look up or fetch. Yeah.
or weights dot token.
Translate. I don't know. Oh, translate's a lookup too. Generally speaking, although it's not a direct, always a direct lookup, but
If I name this lookup, and then lookup dot token to weights maybe. That might work.
hmm.
Yeah, I'll go with that for right now. Yo, these chat GPTs and Gemini's, like, it really is a force multiplier for trying to understand things. It damn near writes an essay on demand, and then
Yeah.
and it's a dynamic essay, meaning that if you really needed to be more granular in step by step explaining how it comes to a conclusion about something, you tell it, hey, yo, I need step by step understanding of what you just told me, and it'll just rewrite the essay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I mean that makes sense. The big thing is that if it's in something that you don't know much about, then the chances that you're going to miss it getting something wrong is pretty high. At least right now. I think ChatGPT, like their certain models are made to try to reason slower. So so it'll actually produce good results. There was something I did the other day where it was just, I was like, "Are you sure about that?" Because it was completely wrong. So
Mm.
um,
And I,
not remember what it was though.
when I have a generated explanation, I'm just copying the entire thing and throwing it into my solution notes. Hopefully
Hmm.
that'll be convenient after taking a couple days off. All right, so this is where I left off at. I guess I'll suspend it. Yeah, I probably have at least six blog posts that are queued up based on what I've been learning to help, basically for me to have notes or what do you call it, breadcrumbs for in case I need to figure things out again.
It's a second mind. What they call them that a lot of cases.
I almost say
Second mind.
crumb trail, but it sounds too much like cum trail, which I don't know.
Well, don't lay a cum trail all over Cleveland. Jeez. Ugh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty motivated, man. You could check on my GitHub. Do you even look at other people's code on GitHub? I don't. I have no interest.
I mean, not often. I do when I need to look at something that I'm using and it's broken or whatever. I used to when I worked at a place that used it. I looked at code on there obviously a lot, but I don't. We use GitLab where I'm at, so I don't spend a lot of time on GitHub like I used to. But yeah, I mean, it depends too on what I'm trying to accomplish. Like, but now I don't know, man. Why would you? You could just go ask ChatGPT, give you a code example, and it's gonna be
Probably for craftsmanship. So, for example, let's try to experiment. Let's if I do Mark, I think I'm his number one fanboy. No homo. If I do Mark Seaman, hold up. How you spell Seaman? Where's Mark? Where's where's how you spell that?
Do I have a functional program?
Is
Damn.
it SEEMAN? I thought it was, yeah, that's him. So I want to see his
I must have that in a different place. I thought I had one of his books around
GitHub.
here, but
More than likely his GitHub's going to be Plu. Yeah, the guy is brilliant, man. He only has 65 repositories. The guy is lacking.
must be in that other one. He wrote did he write domain driven development made functional or whatever?
Oh, this is his blog right here. No. You're thinking about Scott Blashin.
Oh, Scott. I thought that was Scott Vlashin. Okay.
What is this over here? Source code for my blog site and blog. Oh, okay. I have a feeling this has nothing to do with code and it's probably just essays. Yeah. Let's see if he responds. Hi, Mark Seaman. I'm combing My mind is messed up. I'm combing through your GitHub. Do you have a repo that I can study? Preferably in F sharp. My name is Scott. Hi, Plu. I'm combing through your GitHub repos. Do you have a repo that I can study, preferably in F sharp? My name is Scott. Thought I was sharing my screen the whole time. What else is going on with you? You got planned for the weekend?
Well, I was gonna go fishing, but I think I'm gonna end up working most of the weekend because I've got something that's due. That I said I'd get done by the 31st, and I've just been churning on it. And so that's what I was up late working on last night.
What kind of fish do you catch in the middle of winter? The same fish you catch in the summer?
Yeah, generally, although I think it's a little easier to catch certain kinds of fish, but like it's really easy to catch sunfish and stuff in the summer. I don't catch them a lot in the winter, but walleye and crappie are usually the two that are most desirable. Northern pike are always there, but they suck. And then you catch odd ones like whitefish like tulipies, or you can catch bottom feeders like burbot or eel pout, which is the same fish, but that's a good fish, dude. It's like they call it poor man's lobster because it's like this nasty fish, but you pull it up and you cut it. Its texture of its meat's different because it's like this bottom feeding member of the cod family, which is weird, but yeah, it's really good. I've only had it once, but it was like, it would have been good with like garlic butter. We just didn't have any garlic butter with us that time. One day I'll catch another one though. I'll be prepared. But yeah, walleye is usually what I target for crappies. So.
You should go. Oh shoot! Let me share my screen. Yeah, you got to convince your friends to. You got to convince your friends to man up. You ready? I'm about to change your life.
Oh no! I thought you got rid of that tool.
I canceled my subscription, but I mean, I think the plugin is a plugin. I thought I canceled my. Hold up, it should be canceled. Yeah, everything's disabled.
Oh, I see.
No.
Maybe there's like a free mode or whatever. But people do spearfishing around here. My brother's done spearfishing. I haven't done spearfishing, but basically it's usually for northern pike that you're going for with spearfish.
Do it in the middle of winter. So,
yeah, you don't really use guns, I don't think. I think you just use the spears and you hand launch them. But yeah, you basically what you do is you have a spear house and you cut a big square in the ice. You lift up the ice, and then so you can put it back later, or you have to mound it up, or there's techniques for it, whatever. Anyways, then you set down some, not really bait, but like decoys, maybe is a better term for it.
Dude, I'm about to bring this to South Beach. I'm just gonna be chilling with my music on the beach, and then grab my spear gun and just walk to the water.
You bring a snorkel too.
I wonder how they would look at me. see
crazy.
some manatees. I'm like, yo, hold up, y'all. I'll be back. Grab my spirit gun, dive in the ocean.
Do you
I
see
wonder how.
manatees down there?
Yeah, I wonder how many years I get.
For spearfishing a manatee.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be like if there was like a hill, like an Armageddon, but like a bunch of hillbillies survived, but they're kind of sophisticated hillbillies. They go out and like, I've always wanted to try manatee. What do you want to do at the end of the world? Well, I always wanted to try manatee. And they go out and just spear up a manatee and bring it in, chop it up like a cow, a manatee steak.
I wonder what they taste like.
Oh, sea cow. So I just think of
Yeah, why
steaks.
why don't we eat seals?
I don't know.
I mean, it's
Maybe
a
they
lot of
suck.
them, right?
Maybe it's because they're close to dogs, like similar, like in I don't know,
Why don't we eat walruses for the same reason?
same reason probably. Or maybe they're just hard to catch, or they're not good eating. I'm assuming the Inuits or whatever ate them, or Eskimos or Inuits or whatever they are. I'm sure that they did. We eat whale, which whales are pretty majestic and like I don't know. I'd feel bad about eating whale. I wouldn't want to eat a whale. Don't get me wrong, I'd try it probably if I was offered it, but I wouldn't want to. Sorry, I'm not super lively today. Like I said, I'm operating off a few hours of sleep, so
Yeah, you're right. I hope I'm not still paying this bill. I swear to God, I canceled it. I gotta check my business account to see if I'm still being billed. Oh, my name is Scott. Yeah. So here's my goal, right? Because this masterminds things. Once upon a time, you said like it was intended to keep us accountable.
mhm.
Is, Um, I want to be able to have a sample LLM implemented in F sharp within the next by February 1st.
Which
I
data
mean,
do you need
I
for that?
spend like an hour a day minimum. I actually spend like 2 hours a day every day working on it, so it should be feasible.
How much data do you need to feed it, or are you just gonna have a very very small model?
Yeah, for the latter part, I'm just trying to get the proof of concept to work because it's. I mean, I know that they have different like strategies, but in general, like generative AI is just next word prediction.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Um, so I was going to feed it the Bible and probably use that as my training content.
Mm. You
So
feed it the Torah and
sorry,
the
Lord.
Quran, and
You think God would have an issue with that?
probably not.
Using ChatGPT or training my AI with the Bible. I'm sure the Bible was intended for other things.
If you use a Catholic Bible, you'll get a few extra bucks.
There you go.
Don't you have to weight everything though manually?
Is there a satanic version? Like what's this?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
What do Satanists use? Let me look it up.
The Elbib.
What manuscript do Satanists uh, use? Satanists primarily reference the Satanic Bible written by Anton LaVey, which is considered the central religious text for Levian Satanism and outlines the core principles of their beliefs. It is often described as the most influential document in contemporary Satanism. Exploring one's own nature and instincts with Satan representing a symbol of personal power rather than an external deity. Man, I'm about to spend an entire day researching this now. It is not considered sacred scripture in the same way as Christian Bible, but it's seen as an authoritative text for Lovenian Satanists. You know any Satanists?
No, I can honestly say I don't know a Satanist.
I
At
knew
least
one.
not one that talks about it.
I knew of one. Dude, I'm about to start reading up on this now. Why did you have me go down this path?
I didn't. Didn't you learn enough of this from the vampire guy from the movie?
Yeah, that's the person I'm referring to. But he worshiped Hecate. Um, let me see. So who's Anton Lavey? I bet
Hecate sounds like a cross between like the Hawk to a girl
no, it sounds like a cross
and the
between.
Tay.
Sounds like a tranny version of Hector.
Yeah. Hecate. Oh God.
Oh, this guy he died 20 years ago or 30 years. I can't do the math. He died 30 years ago. You want to see what he looks like?
Sure.
I mean, he does look like a Satanist. Oh, my name is Scott from the block. People think they know me. Walk up and get shot. Why? Yeah, from the streets. Name is Scott. Yeah, I bring the heat. I speak.
Of course,
Oh,
he's got an evil goatee. Is he the guy who like made popular the evil looking goatee?
no, that was Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor. Let me see.
I don't think Lex Luthor has a goatee in any of his stuff.
Maybe you're right. He was a founder of the Church of Satan. uh, I gotta look at his Wikipedia now. Do you contribute to Wikipedia?
No, no, that's a woke liberal outlet.
Woke or not? I mean, do you visit it like at least once a month?
No, I
I
don't.
do.
I can't. I mean, I've ever since ChatGPT, I rarely visit much else because it's like just generally don't need to.
GPT was trained on Wikipedia amongst other things.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was.
I mean, I bet you he probably has some hoes.
I bet. I mean, look at that sweet signature. My signature sucks. It doesn't have a devil tail on it. Man, that's pretty sweet.
Oh man. Now I gotta click on her name. Okay, well, his daughter is a Satanist now. She's 72.
Well, there's that. She looks kind of funky. Oh, there's a Xena Shrek. Wonder if it's
Pulmonary edema. Why does that sound familiar?
pulmonary edema. Isn't
It
that like
sounds like
a?
lungs or something.
I thought it was a heart thing.
Oh.
Well, maybe not pulmonary. There's like pulmonary arthritis.
Oh yeah, say in this and F sharp. Um, I don't have anything planned for the weekend. Where can I go that's touristy in Cleveland that I haven't already or near Cleveland within that's within a acceptable drive of Cleveland.
Within acceptable drive of Cleveland?
Yeah, like I did Rock and Roll Hall of Fame like 6 months ago. Mm, I did the Children's Museum like 2 months ago. I had a child with me. I didn't go by myself.
I'll ask ChatGPT. What are some great sites
There's
or experiences
Puddin'
near
Bay
Cleveland?
and Kelly's Island, but I don't think anybody goes there. There's Puddin' Bay and Kelly's Island. Why is their keyboard so loud?
I got like the Cherokees or whatever. What kind of experience you want? Outdoor, cultural, indoor, day trips, winter festival events? What kind of experience are you looking for?
Cheap one.
Oh, go to Great Lakes Science Center or Playhouse Square. I don't know how expensive. I suppose I can ask it to rank these by price. You say inexpensive or expensive?
Inexpensive. It's a recession.
Sorry.
It's embedding there. Okay, I have a attention module. Lookup. I'm trying to get weights, right? What do I name this thing?
Free or low cost? Cayuga Valley National Park,
Into weights.
Lake Erie Shoreline, Cleveland Museum of Art, Winterfest, Stan Highwit Hall and Gardens, Medina, Bright Winter Festival, Castle Noel. What the hell's Castle Noel in Medina? Well, that kind of looks cool.
Should I put a token to weights function in the
it's like
tokenizer?
weird. Say that again.
I'm trying to figure out where to put that token to weights lookup, or do I create a new module for it? There's a compute module. There's an embeddings layer module, but embeddings. Do you know how much do you know about machine learning?
Well, I am a machine that learns, so quite a bit. I don't know. I had very little. Those all sound familiar, but I couldn't put a sentence together that would tell you how it all works.
Add an attention module. My name is Scott.
Here you go. Go skiing.
From the streets. Bring that heat. Yeah, my name is Scott.
Pro Football Hall of Fame.
If I say attention, and then it's token to weights. Do I care about using the term attention? Or should I just call it weights? Call it weights, and I have to say weights from token. Or I could say weights lookup, and then put in the token. That might work. If I was an outsider trying to use this library as maybe an API.
So I understand. So it's a lookup, but it's from an existing set. So you've pre-computed them, then now you're just looking it up.
Yeah. Why do we associate APIs with like servers when they're just programming interfaces?
What? Oh yeah, like I know what you mean. Like why don't we think of like lower level stuff like the operating systems, what it provides as an API, even though it is.
Yeah, we call it an SDK. How come those aren't called APIs?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think that maybe SDK is
Sounds like a
a term that encompasses a set of.
sounds
I
like
think it's a
SCP.
broader. I think it's a broader set of APIs. APIs are more pointed, I think. Um, well, so what else are you gonna do with the weights module? Like,
So what? Would you call this an SDK or an API? I mean, libraries are SDK. Libraries are SDK. Libraries are APIs. I don't understand why we don't.
well, libraries have an API, but libraries consist of more than an API because there's a whole bunch of stuff that sits behind. It's the actual capabilities that you're getting into.
If a library exposes anything public to the
That's
outside
an
world,
API.
it's an API.
Yeah, but it's not an API. It's itself just a library or framework or whatever.
What
Well, it's a
what
library then.
what library exists where it doesn't expose behavior to the outside world?
Well, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm saying that an API is a component of the library.
My argument is all APIs are libraries if they publicly expose an interface to accomplish some behavior. And I can't think of, and that's probably 99% of
Well,
libraries.
like yeah, just an API is just a component of it, though. I mean, it's not. They have APIs, but they are. I don't know why we call. Well, I suppose it's the API of a web app or of a service, and that's what you're getting into when you're doing it over the wire. But it's the same kind of concept. A library is more of a computed, like, it's not like a hosted thing. It would be an in-memory thing. You take a library and you turn it into, put a web server in front of it, and then it's just called like a web app or web service or web API.
I didn't mean to do that.
Gamblers must be busy with family today.
Slacker. Um,
Tell you what.
what the freak? Hold up. I just have to get this thing done, then I'm going to stop coding. Hold up. LLM data preparation dot operations. Hold up. Open. When's the last time you coded for leisure?
Just for fun? Oh, God. When was it?
This is my interpreter, right? Yeah. What am I?
Yeah, maybe a few months ago.
In what? C plus plus. I forget. What do you write? You write C plus
C
plus?
sharp.
You do games?
C sharp primarily. I mean, I've done C. I'm starting to lose my knowledge of C though because I just haven't written it in ages. Not ages, but like probably a year or two since I last wrote C. Maybe even like 3-4 years now. Gosh.
Why do I have attention and then I have self attention? I gotta figure that out. Oh no, I shouldn't. That's confusing. Apparently, there's a self attention lookup. Yeah, I gotta hold you accountable. What are you gonna do?
I got to finish my work. Is what I'm going to try to do.
What work? You talking about your 9 to 5?
Yeah, my 9 to 5. Well, it's not 9 to 5 right now, but I mean, I'm not being asked to be to work a lot extra or whatever. It's more or less that I said I was going to do something, and now I'm trying to keep that commitment, even though I'm just burned out, maybe about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I dealt with that yesterday. I wish every Scrum Master was forced to develop a feature for one sprint, so they can go through the pain being asked when you're going to get something done, knowing getting well that that's something that needs to be done has dependencies that are outside of your control.
That's not a Scrum Master, then. That's just a project manager.
Well, our Scrum Master acts like a product manager.
Well, that's because they just basically took the new buzzword and threw it on to without understanding what it was. Scrum Master is just supposed to keep people out of your way, including project managers. If they're causing you, headaches to getting your work done.
We have this go live on January 1st.
Yeah.
What do you think is wrong with that?
It's New Year's Day, and nobody should be working on New Year's Day.
Like,
generally a holiday.
You pick a go live, and like 80% of the people are on vacation.
Hey guys, let's have a go live on Christmas. That's really a good idea.
Management.
Ugh.
I'm gonna get fired for this video again. I got fired last time for a video I did with you.
What? No, you didn't.
I did.
You got fired for the video?
Yes.
Why?
3 years ago, I got fired for a video that I did with you.
Oh, geez. What were you complaining about? Jeez.
My
I didn't know that, man. I'm sorry.
My lead architect was he liked to basically surf my Twitter and my my YouTube videos, and I was venting about how he wanted me to take down some Twitter posts that I made, and he would like silently watch our masterminds.
Mm-hmm.
And in one of our videos, I was like, I know he's I was like, I know you're watching this, but I don't care. Blah 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 blah. And I got fired like the next day.
Jeez. I don't know. I would be I think I would tell if somebody was checking my shit and telling me to take stuff down, I would tell them to go to hell.
That's pretty much what I said in a professional way. I'm like, I don't publicize. No one knows that I work for this organization. Like, if you look, I don't like, people on LinkedIn, they'll publicly announce like who they're working for or where they just got a new job. I don't do any of that. No one knows where I work at.
Yeah,
at all.
I haven't known.
I don't disclose.
I've known about like one or two historical places you worked at, but not anything recent. So,
well, and even if you did, I probably told you. I don't publish shit on the internet.
Yeah.
Unless I publish my resume.
Yeah, LinkedIn maybe. But yeah, I don't know. It's you just make sure you put these thoughts are my own on everything, and then to hell with them.
No, he just didn't like me.
It's like you're a complete human. You can have opinions and talk to other people about them and whatever.
All right, let me check this in. Am I still sharing my screen? Oh, yeah. Removed self attention module. What do your homies think about me, or do they even know about our?
Oh, well, people know, but I don't have a lot of homies. I don't have a lot of people I talk to about it.
People you fish with, right?
Yeah. They just don't know or get it, or they're just like, oh, that's neat.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah, yeah. Some days I'm a little more whatever, but today, man, I'm just beat. So I did tell you that I did sell that domain name, and
Yeah, you said you sold it for 2,500.
yeah, now they're up there. Finally, was able to see what company bought it.
You know how much ML.net selling for? Or maybe you told me this.
Oh, the actual ML.net.
Hmm.
I did not know. I don't know.
They're trying to sell it for 300,000.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
There should be a law against that, man. You can't hoard like domain names. That's just
Why not? Real estate. It's
because
like
it's not ethical. Like you're literally
sure it is.
saying, no, f that. There should be like a 2 month like reservation period, and then if you don't use it, you don't use it. Like it's
No,
just
you have
selfish,
to keep
man.
paying for it, man. It's a commodity, and it's dude, it's real estate basically.
All right, then you
But they
should.
opened up a lot of real estate with
Then,
the different top level domains.
then the higher the demand, the more you should pay for it per month. I just have an issue with
But
hoarding
you
something.
do.
No, hear me
But
out.
certain ones cost more
Hear me
for
out.
sure.
I have an issue with hoarding something that you are not using that others can use to accomplish
Like real
whatever.
estate.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Like when the Chinese come in and they buy up like hella property and condos, and then they don't live there,
Farmland.
and then they drive up the cost of living for everybody, for all the residents that actually live there based on
Yeah.
supply and demand. Like that's not right.
Yeah, I mean, if real estate wasn't treated like an investment, then that would go away. But it is an investment, which is lame, but it
I
is what
can't
it
wait for
is.
Trump to make this country great again.
Huh. Sounds like they might redo the. They were. I don't know if you saw the latest stuff, but they were talking about H-1B visas and how that needs to be over. Like they need to bring in more people that are top tier talent and that actually have merit based and stuff like that.
Basically, they should bring in people with PhDs.
Yeah, well, yeah. Basically, people that have something to actually contribute, not necessarily PhDs, but
The biggest,
intelligence
I
and
think I shared this with you probably 3 times because we were debating. I mean, I think we're all racist, but we were debating the severity of me being a racist, and I think I might be level 1 out of like 3. No, I'm probably level 2. But
does racism have a capability maturity model or something?
well, it's
Maturity model.
I think one factor is how much time do you spend um, complaining about other races or ethnicities. Mine, I'll probably spend maybe a sum of 1 hour a week venting about other races. 1.5 hours. But yeah, so you remember maybe several years ago, I had an issue where I was I was looking for a job, and then I finally had scored an interview, but the job was in Miami, okay? But I had an interview with an Indian company in India for a job that's local in Miami. Like
Yeah, it
that,
needs
that,
to
that
hire their own, so it's
yeah, that was actually I'll drop the name of the company. The name of the company was Ryder, and I think they're like a trucking logistics or maybe a truck rental company. It's one of them.
hmm.
And I was so upset that I was so upset that I had to, in order to interview for a local company here in the United States, specifically in the city of Miami where I live, I had to interview with Indians in India so that they can give me a thumbs up and or decide if I was worth interviewing further at a local Miami company, and it did not sit right with me at all. Like, it didn't. So I
Yeah,
think
I think I'd pass.
it didn't sit right with me at all. Like especially when you really really need a job, and and to be
Yeah.
and to be fair, I think at the time you had asked the question. You're like, well, would you have had the same frustration and sentiment if it were a British company or a Russian company? Probably British would be better. And honestly, if I'm honest with myself, probably not. I would I would still be frustrated, but I don't. But to be honest with myself and to be transparent, it probably wouldn't be at the same level of frustration.
No,
So
I think that's
it's
because
a
generally,
superiority complex that I
yeah.
need to get rid of.
Well, no, I think it's because generally they like Indian people they tend to hire their own people, and I mean there's probably good reasons for that in terms of language and culture and stuff like that, and just whatever. But obviously, I don't think the British and Russians have
Fuck.
sort of set up.
My phone is ringing, and I already know it's work related. I know it for a fact. It's literally eight. It's
How
eight
yeah,
thirty four in the
how do you
morning.
get like, dude? I don't get phone calls from work ever, man.
I
I
do
don't even have I haven't had Slack on my phone for almost a year now. I
because
just took it off.
everything's putting out fires. Remember, no one's at work right now except me, and so like I'm forced to put
The
out
QA
fires left
people
and
putting it
right.
out, or is it
No, they're
just
out
this
too.
in production?
They're out too.
This is in
Okay,
production issues.
here's another vent. You're going to disagree with me on this, and we could probably close it out the next 5 or 10 minutes on this. I know the majority of people are going to disagree with me on this. If you are doing greenfield development, I find it extremely difficult to come up with a reason to still do feature development or feature branch development. If what you have is not in production and it cannot hurt people, I don't understand why we have feature branches instead of just doing everything trunk based and just quickly getting things out in front of developers, breaking things in front of developers and quickly fixing it like within like the next 10 minutes. It doesn't make sense to have all the ceremony of creating branches for something that's not even in production. No one gets hurt at all. No one is affected. But yet we create these artificial bottlenecks that are based on some senior person's availability to finally perform a rubber stamp review. It doesn't make sense for greenfield projects that no one is using in production because it's not exposed. All right, so feel free to help me understand where I'm wrong.
No, I think I agree with you generally. The one thing the one thing that might be at play there, like if there's a security aspect, there might be like a security reason that it has to be done a certain way, um, or like that way where someone double checks code. Um, if you know,
I mean, you can still do a code review without having pull requests.
oh, like in retrospect.
Yeah, the difference is with pull requests, the code doesn't get in there for other developers to observe. At least, I mean, they could pull up your
Well, wait
branch,
a minute.
right?
So, what do you mean? Like, so you make a branch, a feature branch, then you
Hmm.
put your code in there, and that's what you do your merge request with, right? Or your pull request.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm saying you could do you. A lot of people get stuck because they think that the only way that a code
Oh, I
review
suppose.
can be conducted is through pull requests, and I'm like, no, you can still pair program. you can still at the end of writing your code and before you check it in to trunk, do what I do and say, hey, so and so, that I respect your programming experience. Let me show you what I have, and let me know if there's anything that I should reconsider before I check the send. And then we go over like 3 or 4 files. I do it all the time.
Yeah, well, that should be your merge request or your pull request.
All right, so I was
Like
expecting.
we have like merge. We have review branches that actually get spun up so people can do testing on them before we merge. So there's a little bit more involved there than just. I mean, you still even if the code review gets rubber stamped, there's always like a quality review second. So I know I don't know. There's a lot in ceremony that gets just or you can move a lot faster if you just pushed.
Yep.
But I mean, like I said, there is something to be said about some security stuff, but it should be like a 5 minute, you know, rubber stamp. Yep. It doesn't look like you did anything stupid here. Here you go. Or mean or whatever. Nefarious. I don't know. The question is, if you hired a junior developer off the street, would you be happy having them do it that way?
It's not a production, and whatever they do, it could be fixed, especially if when you check in early and often. Like I check in. I don't know if you probably seen me write code a couple of times. Since I've been talking to you, I've probably done at least 2 commits. I check in code all the time. Like I check in code pretty much every like 15 minutes, even less than that. And so I think that's one of the key components is check in early and often. And then and when other developers are working, if they're checking in early and often, and then they see some minor conflict, it could get handled quickly because it's just a minor conflict versus checking in like after like 8 hours, let alone like 2, 3 days. Yeah, then that's going to make things more complicated. If something's tested, check it in. And when I say tested, like there's a backing automated test for it, unless there's some UI code or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Especially for greenfield, like you said. Yeah. You can always change it later, retrofit stuff, clean it up, review it. In retrospect, it'd be much cleaner to just have people keep merging and then just somebody constantly peruses the code base and fixes things or changes it if they really need to have some level of guidance over it, and then just sending out new like, hey, you did this, do this way, and from now on, okay, everybody gets on board. Just have things.
When was the last time you were a lead developer?
I don't know, like 5 years ago, maybe now, 6 years ago.
Do you miss it?
No. I don't miss developing. I don't want to develop anymore. It's like I'm just stuck in it. What am I gonna do? There's times where I like programming, but I like programming, but just development as a whole, I don't know.
I wonder if Mark replies to me. Hold up. I'm his biggest fan, man. No homo.
Hashtag #FHARP. Do you know that people don't use hashtags anymore? I didn't realize that.
People don't use hashtags?
No.
I use hashtags when I send Mark.
You're the only one I see that uses hashtags.
Oh man, I left out I misspelled F#.
#FHARP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Why you say anything?
I don't know. I didn't.
Can I edit it?
I think it'd be no, not unless you premium.
No, that doesn't look very professional of me. I could delete it and then repost it again. Is it worth deleting and reposting? Since I'll do it. Delete, repost. My name is Scott. My name is Scott. I'm from the streets. I pull out Glocks. I bring out heat. Skeet, 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 skeet. My name is Scott. What you need? I'm from the gutter. I'm a dirty mother. Shut your mouth. All right. Well, you look tapped out.
Yeah,
I need to answer whatever call. So, or I need to respond to whatever call that just happened on my phone. All right, Sean, it's being real. Yo, thanks
Yep.
for showing up. I appreciate it.
Yep.
And,
Sorry, I wasn't more talkative. Like I said, I'll be better next year. Well, I guess we'll see you next year.
When is the first? What day?
Next
what week?
Wednesday. Next Wednesday.
I always struggle on a New Year's Eve. All right, that's another conversation. We'll catch up. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.